In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to cut this stylish underbust basque blouse. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. And this dress is from DHM Clothings. So to start off my pattern, I'm going to start by marking my basic measurement, which is my shoulder to bust line. Next is my shoulder to under bust line. Now I'll go ahead to mark my shoulder to waistline. Now I'll be using one pattern to cut both the front and the back, and also the zipper is at the back, is at the front part of this dress. Next, you want to mark your shoulder plus ½ inch. Now I'll come down by 1 inch. The next step you take is to mark your basic neckline of 3 by 1.5 inches, and I will connect. After I'm done connecting, I'm going to go ahead to connect my shoulder slope or shoulder slant to it. So after connecting, I'm going to find my chest line. And to do that is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So at that point, I'm going to draw out a straight line. Go ahead to mark back what I have on my shoulder. So also, just like I said, I am cutting my front and my back pattern with one piece also. Now I'm going to go ahead to mark my shoulder plus half because this dress has a sleeve, and I will go ahead to connect this all the way up. I'm going to divide my armhole into two, come out by ½ inch, and I'm going to go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. I'll connect from the shoulder to the ½ inch to my bust circumference divided by 4. Next, I'll insert my measurement. I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Use any sewing allowance of your choice. Mark my under bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Here I will mark my waist circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. For the pattern for the back, the pattern will stop at the waist measurement. Now I'll place my ruler and I'm going to go ahead to connect this. After I'm done connecting, to avoid confusing you for the pattern, I'm just going to flip in this part of the pattern this way. So we'll be getting to that point when we are drafting the front pattern of the dress. Now I'll just go ahead to cut out this pattern. So after cutting out this pattern, I'll also use it to cut the back. So now what I will do for this back pattern is I'll be folding up my pattern from the waistline up, because I'll be needing the side of this pattern or the lower part of this pattern to cut out the basque area of the front dress. So I'll just put this aside, just like I said. So when you're cutting this, you're just going to go ahead to blend this off. So, and you place this to cut out. So your back pattern does not have any zipper allowance. Place your pattern on fold and cut out. Now to cut out for the front pattern, all you have to do is place that your pattern and add a zipper in front of it, just like as if you're cutting out your basic bodice where the back pattern has a zipper. Now the front pattern is the part that has a zipper here. Place it and add a zipper allowance to it. So what I'll do next is to go ahead to outline or connect, starting from the bust to the under bust of my pattern, because that is where the neckline of the front stopped, and I'll draw out that straight line. So that part will be for the zipper, and I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline my pattern. So after I'm done doing this, right, the next step is to underline my under bust of the pattern. So this is where the under bust meets the lower part of the pattern. Now you also want to determine where you want the basque of your dress to be. Now I'll come down by 4 inches. You can also use 5 depending on where you want your basque to be. Come in by your sewing allowance so that your waistline at the front and at the back will meet. Then go ahead to add your basque to it and connect. So this is what I have, and I'll just go ahead to draw it out. So after drawing out this basque, at the zipper area you want to just go ahead and cut out the excess you have at the front neckline. Cut the under bust area of the pattern, and also here cut this out. So I also forgot to say that at the zipper going towards the back basque, that is at the lower part, you can go ahead to make it a straight line to avoid having a pointy edge. So here's the remaining part of my sleeve. So I'll be cutting this in a freehand method. What you need is the total length of your sleeve, how long you want it to be. So the next step is to go ahead to find your sleeve cap height, and to find that is your bust circumference divided by 12 plus 0.5 inches. So mine gave me 3.25, which I made a dot, and I'll draw out a straight line at that point. Now after I'm done marking at this point, the next step I'm going to take is just to go ahead to draw out a freehand sketch of for a sleeve. Why I'm doing this is because if you notice the sleeve is a bit big, so you can actually like use a freehand method to do this, or just go ahead to cut out your sleeve, your basic sleeve, and use a slash and spread method. Or for me, I'll just go for an easier method where I'll just draw out this curve, and that part will go to the armhole. Now I'll take a straight line all the way down. So at the end of the pattern, you add an elastic to give it that ruche around the wrist or close to the wrist area. Now I'll just go ahead and cut out my pattern. Now also for the upper part of this sleeve, all you have to do is run a gather sleeve, or go ahead to create a pleating at the upper part and attach it to the dress. So with this, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you find this video very interesting, join us in our next class.